Hi, this is Grace Power, and today I wanted to just do a quick video on a book that completely changed my business life, and of course that carries on to my personal life. Um, and it's called The Secrets to the Millionaire Mind. I'll show you the hard copy I have here. Secrets to the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And he also puts on a weekend, 3-day seminar, and now it's called the Millionaire Experience, I think, Millionaire Mind Experience. And when I took it, it was called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. And actually, T. Harv Eker did my first one. I've gone to several after that because every time you go, it goes deeper and deeper. You can get more and more out of it. It's just like anything, the first time around, you might pick up like 15-20% of the information, and then the next time around you might get the next 10%, and so it just kind of keeps going deeper. And of course, every time I went, I would have bigger and greater goals to reach because many of the goals I had already attained from the previous one. So the cool thing about the book, for one, is it's very simple. It's kind of like a daily devotional in a way. You could use it where, you just every day you pick up and just kind of read a chapter. He has a lot of bullets in there. Like, I'm just going to do it. Like, let's just say you just start like randomly, I'm just going to open to just a random page. And then almost on every page, he has a wealth principle. And so this says, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that is a big one. And I've just constantly like noticed little things. And if you want to change something big in your life, like let's say you want to organize your house better, you start with something little, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So let's say you start with organizing your DVDs, people that probably don't even have DVDs anymore, your books. Let's say you just, okay, I want my whole house organized, but where can I start? You start with something very small. Or you look around your business and you think, gosh, I really need to bring in more revenue. So you just start with like the next client, just start, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And you can just constantly look for things. I'm trying to think of other areas, but if you just feel disorganized in your finances, then look at maybe your house or your car, or something that's a little more tangible, that you could say, oh, well, what does that look like? Is that organized? Does it have order? Does it have a system? Okay, if not, create a system for that, so that now it makes it easier to create the system for your financial life, because you're starting small. It's always hard to change like a big habit, or it's hard to change. Like, another thing he talks about is the fruits are just a result of the roots. So you have to start with the roots. What is the root problem? And then you'll get different fruits. But you can't just start trying to change the fruits. It's not going to work. You have to start with the roots. And that's a lot of times your thoughts. And one thing, I just started reading this book again, because every time I read it, again, something pops out. And I constantly have the mantra, thoughts create feelings, create actions, create results, because that's one of the things he teaches. But I just reread that chapter, and he talks about programs create thoughts, create feelings, create actions, create results. So that kind of struck me in a different way that I'd never seen before. I didn't remember about him talking about that. Programs create thoughts. So not only is it about changing the thoughts, but you got to change the programs that's causing the thoughts. And that's one of the things that I've gotten deeper and deeper, into just in my own personal life, is like the things that I'm programmed in. And a lot of it stems from just your parents. A lot of we get programs from our parents, like their way of thinking, their way of doing things. I have a little boy now, so how I raise him, it's very similar in some ways to the way my parents raised me, because it's like a program. So if I want to change something, I have to start. If I want to change my thoughts about something, I got to change the program. So anyways, and then it's kind of like tricky, like, how do you do that? How do you actually change a program? So he gets more into that in a book, and he does a lot of stuff in the seminars that are sort of subliminal. There's things going on they're helping you get the information deeper, into your subconscious mind, not just consciously, because that's not really going to change the roots, right? You have to get it in deeper so it changes the roots, and then it will change the fruits. And so many people, everyone I've talked to that's actually gone to this seminar, let alone just read, if people just read the book, you're going to be, thinking in different ways, looking at the world in different ways, looking at your business in different ways, seeing it just with a kind of a new perspective. And then, of course, as if you go to the seminar, it'll go even deeper, because there's a lot of exercises that he does. Every exercise is super powerful. If you do attend, do not miss any of it, because it all is important, every single part. And just go with an open mind, but also go with the intention that you're going to really be participating. Don't just go and go, okay, what's this seminar going to do for me? I'm just here, that's the first step. Definitely do that, if nothing else. But the next thing would be to actually jump in and just with your whole heart and just all of your energy, because the more you put into something, the more you're going to get out of something. And that's another thing he talks about. And so much, I just can go on and on and on. And maybe I will make more videos, and I'm sure I always bring in little things that he talks about. I'm constantly saying those thoughts or saying those, what he calls wealth principles. I'm constantly saying those things to my friends, to my families, to people that I talk to. It's because now it's just so ingrained in me. And then as far as the results, he really teaches freedom, because thoughts have so much control over people, over their health, their wealth, their happiness, their relationships. Thoughts, have so much, they affect the results in so many ways. It starts with thought. And now, of course, going deeper, it starts with the program. But changing those thoughts, putting in new programs, putting in new ways of looking at things, new kind of putting on a new pair of glasses and seeing things different, you're going to just start having different results. And that's what happened to me. I went from, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know who I was. I can't even remember who was I back then, because who I am now is the same person. I had all this potential and everything inside of me. It's I guess if you want to use the tree analogy, it's like the seed of who I am is the same, no matter what their roots, no matter what the fruits. But to get deeper roots, or to get more prosperous fruits, or more fruits, or however you want to look at it, I just, he helped me expand and grow bigger. And I'm still pushing to grow bigger. I'm like a little tiny tree that's kind of just coming out. I still have so much more to grow and push, and I'm working on that. It's just a constant, every day growing that little bit more, and watering, and pushing through comfort zones. He talks about that. Your wealth will grow as big as your comfort zone does. And so if you want your wealth to grow, you have to push your comfort zone. And so it's uncomfortable, but growing in general is uncomfortable. You got growing pains, you have things going on, but then it's so worth it in the end. So that's, I'm trying to think of a tangible example that, a specific thing that happened to me. One right off the bat is my boyfriend, that I attracted him to me. After reading this book, I went with this friend of mine, and her and I were kind of getting into law of attraction and everything anyway, but this, we went to the seminar together, and then one night I just decided I'm just going to make a list of everything that I would want in my future mate, and I just made this random list of just anything that came to me. And then met Sean shortly after, maybe 7 months later or something. And he was everything that I had put on my list. So I think that had I don't know if that's really specifically related to this, but let me think of a different one. Well, one of the things that he teaches, and it's like an exercise that you do. It's called VAX, visual, audio, kinesthetic, and spiritual. So if you're putting in a new program, actually, this might be like where you're like reprogramming your mind in the seminar, and you could use this any day. But it's you put it in visually, and then audibly, and then like kinesthetically, like in your muscles, moving your muscles, and then spiritually, into your spirit. So what we would do in the seminar, we picked like a kind of like a goal that you would want to achieve. So for me, I think the first time I went, I probably said something like, I create 300,000 in revenues or something like that. Just like it was like a bigger goal. But since it's been so long, it was like 10 years ago that I went to my first one. But there's been other ones where I'm like, I create, 10,000 per month in personal income. So anyways, how you do it is one of the ways he teaches it to get to do the whole visual, audio, kinesthetic, and spiritual. You can look at your thumbs and you just kind of do a figure 8. And there's something about that too, where it's like, the infinity sign, and so it's getting in deeper into your brain. And so you do that figure 8, watch your thumbs with your eyes, and you say this mantra for a good minute or so. I mean, you could do it for longer. I mean, the longer you do it, probably the more deeper it gets, but about a minute. And then you go on to the audio, and what I do is I just kind of close my ears like this and kind of use my hands so that my voice is like getting right into my ears. And it almost sounds like I have speaker, like headphones on my head, and I'm just talking like right into my ears. And then you just say that mantra. So it gets like in deeper audio through your ears. And then the kinesthetic is like you're moving. So he just had us like kind of do leg lifts and move our arms. But a lot of times when you're running, like if you do the treadmill or the elliptical or anything, do the affirmations, because it's going to just get so much deeper. And I noticed that the kinesthetic for me was probably the most powerful one. Just it goes in deep. Like I get done doing affirmations after doing like a workout, and I just feel the vibration. Like it feels so different because I think it's getting into like more of all the cells instead of just sort of like the brain cells. So maybe that's why. But and then the spiritual, he just had us like put our hands on our heart and then just close our eyes and just kind of put that affirmation into our spirit. And so that, that's important as well, because, we are body, mind, and soul. And so, you want to hit all those aspects of your potential, your human potential. And, of course, he attracts a lot of people because he focuses on the money game, on, winning the money game. And that's a huge thing in our culture right now, in our world, is this whole thing of money. And, I've been open to learning about like the history of money and all sorts of things. And I'm actually like really excited about the Venus Project, if you've heard of that, where it's like creating a society where there would be no money. And I think there's other groups out there that are doing it and, or aiming to do it. They want to get away from the monetary system. But anyways, why I say that is like I'm a very spiritual person, and I love, the reason I'm drawn to making lots of money is, for one, I'm competitive. And so it's like, I want to win. I want to figure this out. I want to, I don't want to be stopped. It's like that competitive spirit in me. And so that's one of the reasons I'm attracted to the money thing, but I'm also attracted for freedom, because money brings freedom. And you have way more choices. You have way more options. You can do way more with your life. And even from a young age, I always was like, I grew up in a church, and I was thinking like about the missionaries. And I wasn't one of those girls that was like, I want to be a missionary. even though the thought crossed my mind and I kind of thought about it and imagined it, but I was like, I really just want to have the money and then support the missionaries. So, so that's kind of interesting, but that's what that's just kind of where I have thought about the money from is just as a gift, and as a freedom, and just so much, and power, and just we have money in the way that things are now, it creates a lot of options and freedom and stuff. And so that's why I've been drawn to it. But I like T. Harv Eker because he's also a very spiritual person. And that's one of the things he teaches, that poor people think you have to choose, this or that. Rich people have both. You don't have to choose, okay, I'm going to be rich, so I can't be spiritual. No, you can have both. You can be rich and you can be spiritual. And so that's what I picture myself as too, is like, I want wealth, and I can create wealth, and I want spirituality, and I want to be connected to God, and be, kind of in that spiritual realm, working in the spiritual realm. Because really at the end of this experience here in this world, the money stays here. We don't take it with us, but we bring our spirit with us. And so that's why that's important to me too, is to really develop the spiritual side of things. And what I've found is that once you get out of the rat race, you have way, way, way more time and energy to devote yourselves to spirituality. And I mean, I just have so much more mental energy. I have so much more, just desire. I have so much more time, compared to when I was in the rat race, just trying to, get ahead, or just, I had to work all the time. He teaches create passive income streams, so then you can retire and you can get out and do what you want to do. So passive income streams is a big thing that he teaches. And that is really the first step to becoming wealthy, because your time is way more valuable than anything else. I guess the next thing would be your health. Actually, maybe health is the most important thing, but when you are like stressed out of your mind and working like 4 jobs and just in debt up to your ears and all of that kind of stuff, you really can't take care of your health the way you should be. So, I think start with the passive income, get that working, and then you have freedom of time. It's going to lower your stress level, for one, and then you also can start focusing on your health. I spend a lot of time, studying health, practicing healthy things, trying different things, and paying attention to my body. And he actually, T. Harv Eker, does other courses inside his programs that focus just solely on health and becoming healthy. And he introduces his students to a lot of, healthy type leaders that, have sort of figured things out more the natural way, foods to eat and nutrition. And of course, exercise is so important, and just, learning more about the body and how the body works, and bringing in nutrition and that kind of thing. So, because he did say that you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, if you don't feel good, what good is that money really, except that you could afford maybe the best medicines or the best doctors, but it starts with your health, right? So anyways, I won't make this any longer. I could talk about all this, but I hope that you found this helpful. If you haven't read the book, definitely read it. Go to the 3-day seminar if you can. He's in a lot of cities and a lot of countries, and he doesn't do the actual workshop anymore, as far as I know. Maybe there's some countries he does, but all the leaders that lead it are awesome. T. Harv Eker did my first one, but I've since had many of the other leaders, and they're all incredible. They're like, it's when I saw T. Harv and then see these people, like, you can see how well he's trained them, because they are so similar to his style and everything. Like, they say the same stuff. I mean, it's like they're kind of working off the same script, but he's chosen some people that are really awesome. Adam Markel is the new CEO. And so I don't even know how much T. Harv Eker is, involved in the program anymore, or if at all, I don't know. But Adam Markel he almost looks like T. Harv. And I mean, all the leaders kind of have like this look where you're like, are they T. Harv in some way? Because they just have like such a similar style and everything. So anyway, why I'm saying all that is you won't be disappointed no matter where you go in the country or the out of the country. They're all good, and it's very high impact. Be ready for some changes to happen in your life. No one comes out of there without having a change in their life in some way that's very noticeable, because like I said, it's reprogramming you. You're raising your money blueprint. So, you go in there and maybe your blueprint is set for 15,000 a year, or maybe it's even set for negative 80,000 a year. You just go in debt 80,000 more a year every year. So you get reprogrammed, and then, the next year you're going to notice immediate results. Something that's a little bit better than that. Maybe you're only negative 40,000, or maybe, or if you were negative 80, then maybe now you're up to positive 15, or maybe you're, some people have quantum leaps, and then they're, drastically change their money blueprint. For me, it was a little more of a gradual process, and I'm still like not, I thought that I'd be a millionaire by now because I did this 10 years ago, and I still am not like on paper a millionaire. So I'm still working towards that. But the main thing is I have my time freedom. I have just a whole different way of looking at money, and I give all of that credit to T. Harv Eker. Without him, I just don't know where I'd be. I really don't. I'm sure that I would have found other ways, but it's not the same. There's something very, very special about his program, his book, his teachings, who he is, who he's become by pushing his own comfort zones. He's really paved the way for more people to come out of our shells, because this world that we live in, just the way that we're raised, is it doesn't train us to be wealthy. It doesn't train us to push our comfort zones. And there's a lot of ridicule that comes from doing things different. But he has people push their comfort zones and get positive results in all of his classes. And so anyways, I will leave it at that, and definitely check it out, and let me know if I helped at all. And if you have questions, let me know as well. Thanks for watching this. Bye.